Did you know there's a useful state you can put your brain into where you feel fully engaged, lose track of time, and have a sense of effortless control? It's called a flow state. The term was coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. So what's so good about flow states? Why bother to try to get into them? Well, first of all, they can improve our well-being. They tend to feel good to be in. It feels like we're doing what we're meant to do. Second, they can be good for productivity, because in flow states, we tend to get a lot done and be focused for a long time. The first step to figuring out how to get into flow states more often is to make sure to choose the right type of tasks. So what are the types of tasks that get you into flow more often? Well, first of all, the tasks should have a clear objective. That means you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, which means you don't have to second guess yourself or take a step back to figure out what you're doing. Second, it should be a task where you don't feel self-conscious. If you're thinking about how you're performing or you're thinking about how other people are judging you, that can prevent you from getting into a flow state. If you've had to do work with someone looking over your shoulder, you probably know how hard it is to get into the zone in that kind of scenario. But some of us are looking over our own shoulders. We're casting judgment on the work we're doing as we're doing it, which can also make it more difficult to get into a flow state. Third, the task should have an appropriate level of challenge to match your level of skill. If you're much too skilled for the task, then that can lead to you feeling bored. But on the other hand, if the level of difficulty of the task is much higher than your level of skill, that can leave you feeling anxious or feeling frustrated. These emotions can prevent you from getting into a flow state. If you just started playing the piano and your teacher told you to start learning Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 3, you're going to find yourself constantly failing, stopping and starting, feeling frustrated, and you may even get some anxiety. All of this is going to prevent the flow state from coming. On the other hand, if you're a very experienced piano player and your teacher asks you to learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, likely you'll find it so easy that you can't get engaged during the task, which is going to prevent you from getting into a flow state. Fourth is about the environment in which you're doing the task. It's important that there's nothing else competing for your attention and there's nothing that's going to distract you, because those will actually pull you out of a flow state once you get into it. So suppose you're a writer and you want to get into a flow state when you write. Well, do it at a library or in a coffee shop with noise-canceling headphones or in a quiet room in your home. If you write in a place where there's going to be regular distractions or noise is going to interfere with your concentration, you're likely to keep getting pulled out of your flow state and it's going to be less effective. So if you'd like to have more well-being and productivity in your work, see what you can do to get into flow states more often. When possible, try to break down your task so that it has really clear objectives. Try to avoid casting judgment on what you're doing while you're doing it so that you can get more into the zone. Try to match the level of challenge to your level of skill so that tasks neither feel too easy nor too hard. And finally, try to set up your environment so there are no distractions and there's nothing else drawing your attention so that you can really get deeply into your flow state. To learn a lot more about this topic, check out our article on clearerthinking.org.